Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another episode of On the Couch. In this episode, as we all know, we all have fears. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of rejection. So how can we overcome them? Or how did we overcome our fears later? So that's the thing. How can we overcome our fears? We all have different fears.
I think I can speak for myself as well, for other people. Mostly people they have the fear of failure, like the society sets a certain goals for people. So people they try to fulfill those goals. So mostly probably everyone will be feeling like if I don't do this, if I don't reach a certain point in life, I'm seen as a failure with the people around me, with my parents, with my friends. So that kind of fear, like we have all other fears within us, but that one is a well-known factor that it affects a lot of people.
I can relate to that. Why? Because maybe you all other times you're passing or you may be even number one. So when results come, you cannot even go and take them. Why? Because you feel, what if I failed? What will people say? People have this expectation and it's more like you're fearing disappointing them. I can disappoint them, so I can't go on for this. So it kind of stops you from trying new things because if you feel, what if I fail?
So something just occurred to me that most of these social fears, like social anxiety, is actually caused by fear of failure, because sometimes when you are social anxiety usually takes place when someone is supposed to stand in front of people and then give a presentation, or sometimes it's just to walk in front of people when people are sitting and then you have to walk, maybe find your seat at the back. People are afraid, maybe they're afraid of maybe falling down while you are walking in front of people, or stumbling on something, or maybe dropping whatever you are holding, or maybe, and then when it comes to giving a presentation, people are usually afraid of maybe saying the wrong thing.
Exactly.
And maybe people would think that I'm stupid, like what I'm saying is maybe senseless, doesn't make any sense. Yeah, so I think that's mostly how, like, it's usually a fear of failure when people are.
I think we are mostly motivated by people. Like if you take a look at these failures, it's people. It's like how people will perceive me after a certain action. So this fear, kind of fear, it's like we always worry about what other people think of us. That way it always leads us to fear, because we have to make other people happy, we have to make them accept us in whatever we are doing. So fear always leads to that.
I think it's like fear of rejection. You don't want people to reject you. You want to fit in. If they don't accept me, what am I going to say? So it's more of like rejection. We don't want to be rejected. We want to be accepted in the society. So the moment you are not accepted, you get to be like, why are they doing this to me? To lead to other things that will affect you as a person.
And the moment we fear, we cannot even do it. Like if maybe a guy fears that if I go to this girl's family to ask for proposal, she might reject me. You end up not going there because this fear overcame his faith that he might achieve this. So if you feel like, what if we fail, then you cannot start anything. What if I say something and people don't accept it? Then I just say it, better not say it. So those kind of fears, exactly.
I think the thing that motivates us, instead of building us to make better decisions, it actually takes us down. Because by the time we start thinking about impressing other people, that's when we fail. That's when that fear overcomes our sense of purpose, and we are always wondering like who will accept us or what I'm about to do. Mostly people they have failed in life because all they want to do is to please other people, or they are afraid to reach out for their goals because they think like, if I try this something new, maybe people will think like it's wrong. You already give yourself a judgment before you even try something. So mostly people they end up not doing anything.
So in other words, you're saying most of our fears are based on third parties, the society, the people. What of other personal fears that we have? that are not driven by the fact that what do people
Fear
say.
of heights.
For me, I think it comes from like the way maybe you grew up. Sometimes there are certain traumas that you faced when you were young. So when you grow up, sometimes those things they will not, if you don't get proper counseling, those things they will not just go away. People usually keep inside the things that worries them, so they end up like they take them everywhere they go. Like when they grow up, they find themselves like suffering in different kind of situation because they always have that fear that they had. Or maybe the things that they experienced when they were young will be okay when they are older.
Like fear of darkness. It will be fear of
So
darkness.
it goes, your point goes back to the influence of other people, in the sense that if someone maybe was abused before, maybe raped, they'll fear men. If she's a girl, they'll just say this person might do this again to me. And if so, what we have been exposed to can make us have certain fears.
And there are also fears that, like, they don't have to anything to do with what you've been exposed to. According to Carl Jung, a psychological theorist who had listed archetypes, and these archetypes they have fears of a fear is also an archetype where you are afraid of something, even if you haven't like come across it. For example, everyone, even if they haven't had any past experience with a snake, let's say for example, they are just afraid of the snake. So yeah,
So fear of the unknown, more like it.
yes.
So ladies, is there anyone who has a certain fear, how it impacted their life or stopped them from doing something?
For me, I've get fears. I wouldn't say exactly what fear, but what I've learned from fear is like you have to face your fears sometimes. You have to challenge yourself. Like, if I'm scared of this thing, if I try it and then see how it goes, sometimes you see that it was even a minor thing. But because it was in your head and you try to, like, I'm not going to face it. But sometimes you have to face it. Someone said, do it even if you're trembling, just do it. So I think it's more like we have to face our fears sometimes.
Yeah, for me, I think I have fear of being judged. Why? Because I've been judged a lot. People say you're Muslim, you're not capable enough. So nowadays, whenever I walk into a room, I'll be like, what are those people thinking? Maybe they're saying I'm not good enough. So at the end of the day, it has lowered my self-esteem and confidence. So sometimes instead of volunteering something, I just say, maybe they'll say I'm not good enough. So, but what I've learned is just go for it. Just have this courage and let your faith be bigger than your fear. Because this fear will stop you from achieving a lot of things. Even if stage fright and every fear that you have, try to overcome it. Just try once, and the moment you try, like if we had listened to our fears, we would not be sitting here now. If we were listening, what would people are going to say? What are they going to say? We would not be sitting here right now. But because of courage, because of faith, we are here today.
I think the sense of inferiority, I think, affects a lot of people. Because once you look down upon yourself and you think you cannot achieve anything, then you always have that fear. Because sometimes people, you just look at someone and you think like, this person is better than me. I think they do much better. So you are always breaking yourself down. But sometimes you can even do better. The more you push yourself, like just try. I think if you have any fear, you just try to reach out for other things. Like she said before, like you have to face your fears because you will never know how good you are until you try something.
Exactly. So the solution is just facing the fears. Someone might ask, wow, what is
It's
facing
not
your
very easy to
fears?
face your fears, but yeah, you have to do it.
So what tips can you give us? Like, if you tell me face your fears, I don't know how to face them.
I think for me, like take for example, like you have stage fright, right? You always maybe like when you are with us, you're good at speaking. You can say whatever you want to say. You're so free. Then, for you when you go on stage, you tremble like I a good example. I can tell you, I have stage fright. Like it's something that worries me. Like I don't know. I have planned for my speech and all this. I know what I want to talk about. Yeah. But what I do, like, I did not stop to stand in front of people and say what I want to say. I always go there. If you listen to me, like, when I'm on stage and someone told me, like, I'm going to give a speech, at first you hear the tremble. I would tremble like, I don't know, nobody's
But then
listening.
you just start
But with
flowing.
time, like when I give myself enough time, I will end up saying exactly what I want to say. So it's more like the more you push yourself, you will be able to do whatever you want to do. Instead of just saying, like, oh, I'm trembling, what will people say? So then you stop. But
Yeah.
you better go ahead with it.
Like how fear, like anxiety psychologists do, they always make you face, especially those fears that don't have an explanation. Like you're just born with that fear, like fear of snakes and bugs. Maybe someone in your like it's they always believe it's evolutionary. Like people were afraid of snakes and bugs in your family, and then you kept on, and then it was passed on to you. So it was more of exposing the patient. They would expose the patient to the bugs. Maybe first of all they do the what do they call it when you wear those what's this, the spectacles, and then you see a virtual reality thing. They will expose you to those version of you're walking in a forest full of bugs, of spiders and snakes, and then they end up giving you like an actual snake, then exposing you to those kind of fears until you get used to them. So it's the same as what you have been saying, like you keep on exposing yourself to the stage even though you know you have a stage fright. So I think most of all these fears, they have to be, you have to keep on exposing yourself to them until you are.
I don't think they will really go away because, like I told you, like every time I go on stage, I feel it. But it's something that you have to push yourself. Like I have to do this.
That's why I say
There's a
trembling,
mindset,
and then you have to do it. Just have to do it, even if you tremble. Do it.
It's
That's
a
all you
mindset.
have to
Also,
do
you
it.
tell yourself that I just tremble and that's it. So let me just
Maybe
go
tremble,
back
but
and-
trembling maybe last
Trembling
2 minutes,
again.
after 2 minutes I'm okay.
Yes.
So it's all about keep on doing it. Even if you're scared, as scared as you are, just do it.
We never know. Maybe most of these people we are seeing going great and great. Maybe they are always facing those fears, but they keep on waking up in the morning and saying, "I'm going to do it" until they are all the way up.
So, any Islamic views on it? Advice from Islam? I think I'll just advocate for sometimes we need strength from God. Like Prophet Musa alayhi salam, he was a stammer, like he would stammer. Then he asked God for help. Like he was being sent to the people of Egypt and to Pharaoh, who was a very threatening man, but he asked God for.
I also think there's a dua for difficulty. I'm sure it's like you're scared, you don't know what to do, you just ask for Allah. There's something that is easier, except what you make easy. So I'm sure you're scared and you have to do, you're the only person there, so you have to face it and then ask for guidance from Allah.
Yes, because there's nothing which is greater than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So sometimes just put it in God's hands. I want to do this. I just need just strength that I go out there and do my best. Because without God, we are nothing actually.
Because if you read the history of the prophets, I think probably most of them you hear like when they were sent, like go take this gospel to the people, take this go and preach to certain kind of people. But then they were even afraid at first, you know. But at the end, they ended up doing it and they succeeded. So it's a good example, actually. Like you fear first, but God always give you the strength to overcome those fears.
And the fact that they were afraid at first, but they went on to preach. They asked God for help and went on to preach. Should also teach us that yes, we're afraid, pray about it and do it. Don't just pray and just relax. No, put an effort as well and do it. Then at the end of the day, the results are great.
Pray and then trust Allah.
Yeah, tie your camel and trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I think the best solution from what we have all said is let's face our fears, because fears have resulted in us not doing what you're supposed to do. They stopped us, and we shouldn't be afraid of what people say. People will always talk, even if you do good, they'll say something. If you do bad, they'll say something. So as long as God face your fears and go up there and do it. So ladies, any advice to our viewers and our listeners?
Well, I would just advise to say, keep pushing, face your fears. We have been saying it, but that's the advice I have.
All right.
For me, whatever we do, just to try to be the best you can. I know you struggle, you think about other people, what they will think of you, you have your fears and stuff, but what you have to do, you have to know at the end, there's light at the end of the tunnel.
So don't die hearing things. Expose yourself and see the world with different eyes. Just be there, be the person that faces it. Don't go to the grave regretting. I think that's the best I can actually say.
Yeah, it is said that a lot of questions will keep you up at night, but one question will always keep you up at night, which is what if I didn't give up? So we shouldn't let fear overcome our faith. Let your faith be greater than the fear. Go for it and face your fears. So I think this brings us to the end of this episode. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and do comment below. Give us feedback of the topics that you want us to discuss and any other additions. See you next time. Wassalam.